CBSE to allow students of class 10th and class 12 to appear for the pending board examination from centers in their home districts. It's a relief to students who have moved to different states or districts due to lockdown. Shramik trains continue to take the migrant workers home under mission back home. Almost 48 lakh passengers transported in over 3,600 trains. Control operations stepped up as the Locust sweep across North India. 200 Locust circle officers and temporary camps established for control operations. The Agriculture Ministry approves procurement of additional 60 sprays from the UK, drones to be deployed soon. The flood situation worsens in Assam. Nearly 2,71,000 people affected in 11 districts. Over 16,500 people shifted to 57 relief camps. 2,678 hectares of crop area affected in the state. Met Department predicts likely occurrence of rain and thunderstorm for the next 2 days, with the receding of ongoing heat wave in the north and west India starting today. And in international news, the US is the worst hit by COVID-19 with over 1 lakh deaths. Global confirmed cases cross 56 lakh 90,000. The WHO creates foundation to boost funding in the COVID-19 fight. Hello and good morning. You're watching Doordarshan News with me, Nancy Kohli. Our top story: the students who have moved to a different state or district during lockdown can now appear for their pending board examinations there itself. It comes as a major relief to students appearing for the pending class 10th and class 12th examinations conducted by the Central Board of Secondary Education, the CBSE, from the 1st of July this year. The Human Resources Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said that students need to inform their schools regarding their choice of district for appearing in the board examinations. He said the CBSE will announce the modalities of registration for such requests.
CBSE बोर्ड ने ये निर्णय लिया है कि जो छात्र अब जिस जनपद में जहाँ पर है उसको अपने संबंधित स्कूल को सूचना देनी पड़ेगी कि वो उस जनपद में है और उसको उसी जनपद में परीक्षा देने की अनुमति दी जाए। तो आप अपना जल्दी से जल्दी आप जिस जनपद में हैं अपने स्कूल को बताइए और बताइए कि आप वहीं पर परीक्षा देने वाले हैं, देना चाहते हैं। तो CBSE बोर्ड ये कोशिश कर रहा है कि हर हालत में आपकी सुविधा के अनुसार उसी जनपद में आपको परीक्षा देने की अनुमति होगी। जून के प्रथम सप्ताह में आपको अपने स्कूलों से लगातार संबंध करना पड़ेगा।
The Indian Railways has operationalized over 3,600 Shramik special trains so far across the country. More than 48 lakh passengers have been transported to their home states through the Shramik special trains in 26 days. On the 26th of May, 255 Shramik specials were run. The top 5 states or the union territories from where the maximum trains originated are Gujarat with 946 trains, Maharashtra with 677 trains, Punjab with 377 trains, Uttar Pradesh with 243 trains and Bihar with 215 trains. The IRCTC has distributed more than 78 lakh free meals and more than 1.1 crore water bottles to the travelling migrants. In addition to the Shramik specials, railways are also running 15 pairs of special trains connecting New Delhi from the 12th of May and plan to start 200 more timetable trains on the 1st of June. In Jharkhand, the migrant workers who have reached their homes praised the move taken by the centre and the Indian Railways through the Shramik special trains.
गोवा में लॉकडाउन में फंस गए थे। लॉकडाउन के वास्ते हम लोग मजबूरी से ट्रेन मिल गया, ट्रेन से यहाँ रांची पहुँच गए। रांची से अभी गुमला जिले जाना चाहते हैं। गुमला से आगे पालकोट थाना में जाएंगे, थाना से बाजू में घर है, उधर पहुँच जाएंगे।
हम गोवा में फंसे हुए थे तो वहाँ से लगी अभी वहाँ से आ रहे थे तो लगी वहाँ पे रखा भी था तो रखने के बाद में एक दिन के बाद में छोड़ा वहाँ से गाड़ी। छोड़ने के बाद में अब यहाँ पे पहुँचे हैं, तो हम घर जाना चाहते हैं।
The government of India is working tenaciously to bring back the stranded Indians from abroad under its ongoing Vande Bharat mission. Under the mega repatriation mission, an Air India flight will evacuate stranded Indians in France to their homes. The special aircraft carrying 237 Indian nationals took off from France for Kochi via Bengaluru, while the passengers expressed happiness over their evacuation. They thanked the government of India for the noble initiative and expressed gratitude towards the officials and authorities. The Indian embassy officials were also present at the airport to facilitate the Indian passengers travelling back to their homes safely.
I've been in France from past 3 months, and I've been in touch with the embassy and the consulate for longer time, and they've been so helpful. They're arranging this thing very nice, and then even though there are delays in the flights and things like that, but they're keeping everything on track, and then we are actually happy to go back home. And thank you so much.
It was really nice experience that you people have helped us, and and also it was thanks to you guys, for you only we had got a chance to go back to India, because we are thinking to go back since long 1 month, but we stuck. So thanks you guys.
I've been in Paris for like 1.5 years now, and during this emergency period, pandemic period, Indian Embassy has helped all of my roommates and my friends to arrange this emergency flight for us. And I'd like to thank Indian Embassy, Indian government for helping us, and it's a very pleasure for us to work to have such an incredible embassy and the government of India. Thank you.
And earlier on Wednesday, over 550 Indian citizens were repatriated on 3 flights from Dubai to Kochi, Kannur and Kozhikode. Continuing with the evacuation of the stranded Indian nationals from Bangladesh, 170 people left Dhaka for Kolkata on Wednesday. Among those evacuated, 112 persons were working at a power plant in Bangladesh. With this round of evacuation from Bangladesh till 27th of May, more than 1,470 Indian nationals have been evacuated from Bangladesh to India. The Indian naval ship Kesari arrived in Madagascar on Wednesday carrying medical supplies. As part of the mission Sagar, the government has sent INS Kesari to 5 nations in the South Indian Ocean, including Maldives, Mauritius, Madagascar, Comoros and Seychelles. This ship is delivering the essential food items, the medicine supply and the assistance in the wake of COVID crisis in response to the request for assistance from these countries. This is inspired by Prime Minister's vision of Sagar, that security and growth for all in the region. This is also in keeping with India's role as a first responder in the region. INS Kesari has already successfully delivered food aid first to Maldives and then to Mauritius. The gesture has been widely appreciated by the people of these receiving countries. Now, amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, several states are also battling a locust attack. Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, parts of Uttar Pradesh are all impacted. Swarms of locusts have damaged the orange crop and vegetable plantations in some areas of Nagpur and Wardha districts in Maharashtra. The Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare has stepped up the locust control operations in the affected states of Rajasthan, Punjab, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. In Rajasthan, 21 districts, in Madhya Pradesh, 18 districts, in Punjab, 1 district and in Gujarat, 2 districts have undertaken the locust control till now. For effective control of locusts beyond the scheduled desert areas, temporary control camps have been established in Ajmer, Chittorgarh and Dausa in Rajasthan, Mandsaur, Ujjain and Shivpuri in Madhya Pradesh and Jhansi in Uttar Pradesh. At present, 200 locust circle offices are conducting survey and control operations in close coordination with the district administration and agriculture field machinery of the affected states. The locust control operations are in full swing in coordination with the state agriculture departments and the local administration. The Union Agriculture Ministry has also stepped up efforts to control the spread of swarms of locusts and plans to soon deploy drones for spraying pesticides. The government has placed an order for buying 60 spraying machines from the UK-based company Micron, and 2 firms have been finalized for supply of drones for aerial spraying of insecticides for effective control over tall trees and inaccessible areas. Meanwhile, farmers have started spraying pesticides and chemicals on the plants and fields from truck-operated sprays and fire extinguishers in Maharashtra. The Central Integrated Pest Management Centre is issuing regular warnings and advisories. The Rajasthan Agriculture Department has deployed a drone to spray pesticides in the swarms of locusts in Jaipur. Drones can sprinkle pesticide on nearly 2.5 acres of area in a flight of 15 minutes.
After entering Rajasthan from Pakistan on the 11th of April through Sri Ganganagar and Jaisalmer, the swarms of locusts were also visible in Jaipur. This is the first time that the eastern part of the state has been attacked. Normally, these locusts come in the month of July to October, but this time it is too early. Thankfully, the Rabi crop has been harvested, so there is not much of damage, but still the vegetables and fruits are at their target. Experts believe that if they are not controlled, then they can eat up to the food which is consumed by 2,500 men in one time. And that is why Rajasthan government along with the central government has taken up this task. Apart from spraying pesticides through tractors, drones have also been deployed. Central government has given Rajasthan 14 crore for the survey and control of these locusts and 48 crores as compensation for the farmers. 20 districts of the state are under the attack of these locusts. Vishal Baristo for DD India, Jaipur.
In Assam, over 2.71 lakh people are reeling under the fury of floods in 11 districts. New areas have been inundated due to breach in the river embankments and incessant rains. Several rivers are flowing above the danger level. The relief and rescue measures are being taken by the administration in the flooded areas. Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has reviewed the flood situation in Guwahati with the senior officials and instructed all the concerned departments to provide all the necessary help. Instruction has been given to provide safe drinking water in the flood-hit areas. Over 16,500 people are taking shelter at the 57 relief camps at Golpara, Nalbari and Tinsukia districts. And proper social distancing is also being maintained in these relief camps. The Indian Met Department has said that the maximum temperatures are likely to recede from today onwards across North India, which is reeling under a severe heat wave. The temperatures north and central India have soared over 47 degrees Celsius at a few places since the past 4 to 5 days. The Met Office said has predicted in fact the occurrence of rain and thunderstorm for the next 2 days. The heat wave has been sweeping across parts of North India, including the national capital, for the past few days. The plains of northwest India, central India and the interior parts of eastern India are the worst impacted, and an orange alert remains in place. Severe heat wave with a red alert has been predicted in some parts of Vidarbha and West Rajasthan. And there's news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. An incident of a vehicle-borne IED blast has been averted by the timely input, and action has been taken by the Pulwama police, the CRPF and the army. The IGP Kashmir has confirmed the news on Kashmir Zone's police's Twitter handle. So, this is in fact the tweet there by the Kashmir Zone Police. A major incident of a vehicle-borne IED blast is averted by the timely input and action by Pulwama Police, CRPF and the Army. They're of course on the Twitter handle of the Kashmir Police. So, it seems that of course a major tragedy there has been averted by of course the police staff there, by being alert and vigilant there. The IED blast there has been averted. All right, let's now go back to the COVID-19 update from across the world. The overall number of global COVID-19 cases has surged to over 56,90,000, while the death toll due to COVID-19 has risen to more than 3.55 lakh. The global tally of COVID-19 patients has risen to 56,90,951 as per the latest data, with the death toll rising to 3,55,615. As many as 23,50,071 people have recovered from the virus. And as the world is reeling under the COVID-19 threat, US has reached a grim milestone as the death toll there has exceeded 1 lakh. US has so far registered more than 16,98,580 cases of infection. The urban areas, especially New York, are among the hardest hit, where funeral homes have become chaotic and overwhelmed. The city has alone so far registered more than 29,480 deaths, with elderly disproportionately hit. And world's number 2 epicenter, Sao Paulo in Brazil, is set to enter phase 2 of the state's reopening plan, under which malls and street shops will be allowed to reopen in the city for 15 days as of the 1st of June. The relaxation will also allow real estate operations and other businesses to operate with restrictions. Nationally, Brazil has confirmed more than 4,11,820 COVID-19 cases, and the death toll has reached above 25,590. It has the second highest number of COVID-19 cases in the world after the US. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said it is all set to start the COVID-19 test and trace services. The services, which will have a task force of 40,000 specialists to test those with symptoms and identify their contacts, will not initially include the app that is key to finding the anonymous contacts. The Prime Minister added that the contacts will be asked to isolate themselves even if they do not show the symptoms of the virus. The death toll from COVID-19 in Britain has crossed 37,540, while the number of cases are more than 2,68,610. And the World Health Organization has announced the creation of a foundation that will enable it to tap new sources of funding, including the general public. The WHO Foundation is being created as an independent grant-making entity that will support the UN agency's efforts to address the most pressing global health challenges by raising new funding from the non-traditional sources. The WHO chief has said that the UN body's annual budget of about $2.3 billion was very small for a global agency, close to that of a medium-sized hospital in the developed world. He also said the funding sources were also uncertain. Also, the US had in April suspended funding to the WHO while threatening to halt it altogether if it does not reform in 30 days. The WHO chief, however, said the creation of the WHO Foundation had nothing to do with the recent funding issues. Meanwhile, Moscow mayor has announced an easing of the Russian capital's lockdown starting the 1st of June after the Kremlin said the COVID-19 pandemic had passed its peak in the country. Muscovites will be allowed to take walks from the 1st of June, though they'll have to abide by a timetable for the residential buildings within individual areas of the city. The mayor also called for the reopening of the retail services where there is minimal contact with the customer, listing dry cleaners, the laundry services and repair workshops. Moscow has been under lockdown since 30th March, with residents only allowed to leave their homes for brief trips to a shop, to walk dogs or travel to essential jobs with a permit. The Russian capital has emerged as the epicenter of the pandemic in the country, with around half the total of more than 370,000 cases. The medical crisis has deepened in the third most affected country, Chile, with the hospitals receiving immense number of COVID-19 patients. The authorities said that the avalanche of cases might lead to the collapse of the hospitals. Patients there have to wait for around 8 hours to get wards in ambulances. The death toll in the South American country has crossed 840, with the number of cases more than 82,280 cases of infections. In some other news now, the historic launch of SpaceX rocket ship with 2 NASA astronauts to orbit was called off because of thunderclouds and the danger of lightning. NASA scrapped the mission for safety reasons less than 17 minutes before the Falcon 9 rocket was due to take off. The launch is now rescheduled for Saturday afternoon. Robert Behnken and Douglas Hurley were due to travel to the International Space Station on a rocket and capsule system built by Elon Musk's firm SpaceX. NASA hired SpaceX and Boeing in 2014 to design and build spaceships to carry astronauts to the space station in a new kind of a public-private partnership. The launch would have marked not only the first human launch to orbit from the US's soil in nearly a decade, but also the first time a private company's partnership to launch rocket. And let's now move on to some news coming in from back home in West Bengal. The government domestic flights has been resumed this morning, and the state government on Tuesday had issued guidelines for domestic air travel. Let's go across now to our correspondent Anibrato Bhattacharya, who is joining us from Kolkata. Anibrato, good morning. First of all, give us a sense of the domestic flights that had started there.
Yes, morning.
What's the rush of passengers coming in? Are you seeing there in West Bengal?
Yeah, Nancy, the sky of Kolkata is once again witnessing activities because, domestic flight has resumed operation here from the international airport, Netaji Subhash International Airport here in Kolkata. It's not only from Kolkata, it's also from Bagdogra. The flight operation, domestic flight services resumed today. As you know, 10 flight will land here at the Calcutta airport and 10 will take off. So all preparations have been made. Preparations are in full swing as we find that as the West Bengal is was battered by the super cyclone Amphan and also pegged in several other crises because corona pandemic is on rise. Yet of all these things, the domestic air services resumed. This indeed everyone is heaving a sigh of relief in the truest sense of word. Although all over the country domestic air services resumed from 25th, but here from Kolkata it is resumed from today because state government requested the airport authority to delay the flight because restoration and other such jobs were pending as long as it was not done, so they didn't give any green signal to these things. The thing is that the passengers are to adhere several guidelines. The state government has issued one directive, and airport authority also issued as such. Social distancing is the biggest thing as a buzzword that everyone is follow. And another thing is that everyone is to have other such norms that are to be maintained here.
Sure. All right. All right, Anibrato, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those inputs there. Of course, domestic flight operations, they're resuming in West Bengal. Thanks very much. And moving on now. Today is the birth anniversary of the eminent freedom fighter Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. He fought relentlessly against the British and spent a long period in the cellular jail. Savarkar wrote the history of India's first war of independence of 1857. And paying tributes to Veer Savarkar, the Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said, and I quote, "Savarkar ji was a great patriot, a prolific writer. His work for purification of languages and efforts to reform the society will continue to inspire the coming generations." And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.